Hi, anyone there? Welcome to the worm room. Lowering the TV. Well, I tried to prop you up on this thing and it doesn't seem like it's working. I'll leave it like this anyway and see what happens. Maybe I could put it down. Okay, I think you're safer like this. So I'll wait and see who's on. If you're on, say hello. Hello. Blinded by the light. Oh gosh. Is it too bright? Maybe I'll put it like this. Is that better? That's Gardening with Barchuck, and Rick is with me. Look at my t-shirt. I got my Bigfoot Christmas. Anyway, we're here in the worm room. I've always wanted to do a live from in here. And, okay, so the light's better. Good. So maybe I could show you guys a little bit. I think Joe might be popping in, so he could say hi to you guys. So I put a notification out that this was going to happen tonight. So hopefully people will come and we can talk. Come in.
I want to come barging in.
What's up? Okay, good.
Hola. Here's your phone.
Oh, thank you.
Sure. Do you need a charge?
I don't know.
94%. You're good.
Okay, I'm good. So Joe's here.
I'm here.
Want to say hi to Joe?
Hi. Well, you want me to say hi? Hi. Oh. I'm Joe. Yes.
So this is Gardening with Barchuck and is watching
Oh
us.
yes.
It's Rick.
Okay. Hello.
Rick and I are trying to figure out how to put both of us on a live screen so we can both talk to each other, but then talk to the public. So I can't figure it out.
Awesome.
But we're working on it.
Hey.
It's good that we could see the comments on the side here.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. He said the light was blinding him. I first turned it on.
Yeah, it's kind of an angle there. Want me to? Let's try to kill one. Let's kill the overhead. See if that does it.
Yeah, kill one of them and let's see what it looks like.
Oh,
it's too dark.
I don't know. What do you think?
No, it's too dark.
How about the other one?
So I tried to. No, it's too dark. I tried to prop it up on this thing, but it wasn't working. So, okay. Hi, Grant. How are you? I'm gonna try that. No.
Any better? Sorry.
My husband's here with me today. He popped in to say hi. He's the guy that builds everything around here.
I do.
And helps me putting things on the walls and carrying this and moving that. And this is Joe. A lot of people want to borrow him. How are you? You guys doing okay? So I bought you here to my worm room. People have wanted to look around a little bit. We're still working on it. We're still working on one side of it. We're going to take off these shelves with all the years of crafting supplies that my daughters and I have. And what are we doing on this wall again?
More racks.
Oh, yeah. We're going to put more racks like these on the other side of the room and build up my worm population even bigger. And then in the spring, we're going outside for the windrows. Hi from South Carolina. I love it. So the last time I was live with you guys was the night the tornadoes went through Kentucky and Tennessee. So that was really sad. It stormed here, but it wasn't really that bad. Even though the tornado siren went off here and I was asleep to the world and I didn't hear anything.
I was up.
Yeah. My daughter called me from her room. The tornado siren's going off. I'm like, oh, okay, good night. So I don't know.
It came, I guess, an hour or two southwest of here.
Yeah, the tornado went by about an hour or two southwest of here. We did have one a couple of years ago go by in a town called Henryville, and it flattened that town out. It was sad. That's like what, a half hour, maybe 40 minutes from here, something like that. So, how are your worms doing? Is everyone doing okay? I know sometimes worm composting in the winter can be challenging. We are in southern Indiana. We are not far from the Kentucky border going into Louisville. So we're in southern Indiana. I don't think there's any other worm farmers around here. I heard that there's one local around here, but I don't think he's in business or anything. I think it's just a farmer who worm composts his manure from his livestock. But I have yet to find him. I'm trying to find him. I'm asking some gardening groups and see if I could find them. So hopefully we could trade worms, or I could get manure from him or something. So that's what I'm doing. But right now we're getting ready for Christmas. It's Christmas week, so we got a lot going on. What state are you in, Grant? I didn't know. I can't remember if you were in the northern states. I think you're in the northern states, aren't you? Oh, potworms. Oh boy. Potworms come with moisture. When you overfeed your population, you will get potworms. What I do is I sprinkle DE on my worm bins, diatomaceous earth. Make sure it's the food grade kind, and it'll get rid of them. Plus, drying out your bins will definitely get rid of the potworms. But potworms they're also composters. They live naturally in the composting world, so they don't hurt your worms or anything. But you just can't let the numbers get extreme because they can. But yeah, potworms come with moisture. I had potworms a few years ago. I overfed a bin. One of those crazy experiments I do. And yeah, I had a lot of them. But once I started drying out the bin, that was it. So Joe here has been exposed to my worm craziness for next month. It'll be 20 years.
Yeah. So, do you still have the same original tower?
I do.
Wait, didn't you donate one to someone in Texas?
I did. I donated a Worm Factory 360 to someone in Texas with the worms and everything in it. As a matter of fact, those worms I bought from Bruce in Conroe, Texas. He raised the biggest red wigglers I have ever seen, but I think he's retired now. He was an older man. I'm not sure if his son took over his place. I can't remember the name of his farm. I'm sure if you put Bruce Conroe, Texas on Google, you'll find it. But they were his worms, and those were the first worms, and I donated that because we moved. But then I have another 360. I have a regular one. I have the other one called gusanito, which means little worm. I got that online somewhere. I don't even remember where. And then we have the new frog one that's upstairs in the kitchen. So yes, my husband buys me worm farms for.
She likes it.
Yeah, anniversaries and things like that, and so I've been doing this such a long time. I could never see myself not doing worms. So.
And Christmas is around the corner.
Oh boy, that's exciting. That's exciting. What other people get worms for holidays? I know I'm not the only one. Yeah, Rick says we're gonna eventually figure it out how to get both of us on the camera.
Oh, for a split screen or something.
I know people do it. I've seen
Zoom,
it.
Maybe can you do Zoom through this?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know if you could put Zoom on Facebook.
I don't know. The last time I went live on here, I just pressed the button just to see what would happen. I no clue.
Southern Illinois on the Kentucky border. Okay.
Okay, I know where you are.
Type by I guess not sure close to Cairo maybe around there.
Probably, yeah. Yeah, it'll be if Kentucky's like this, it'll be over here.
Paducah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Kentucky's beautiful. We love going to Kentucky. It is beautiful. Indiana's beautiful too. We have a lot of they're not mountains like Pennsylvania, but they're hills.
Yeah, more hills, yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty big. We live up on a hill. So when it snows, we have a little bit of difficulty.
It's a few degrees cooler, about 5 degrees cooler as you come up.
Yeah. Oh, look what Rick said. I see the multi-stream lives using StreamYard. Okay, we'll have to look that up and see what it is.
Bins for worms. What's that?
I get bins for worms, not commercial, DIY. Yeah. Oh, hi, Michael. How are you? Yeah, when I started worm composting, it was all because I'm a cook and I had a lot of scraps and I didn't know what to do with them.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a compost pile outside, but it was getting invaded by, we were in Texas, it was constantly had fire ants in it. Which, if you have fire ants, I have two solutions for you. You can over wet your compost bin and they will run, or just plain old grits, not cooked, just plain old grits. You sprinkle it around the mound and they eat it and they disappear.
Not instant ones either, right? The natural.
The natural grits,
Yeah.
just, regular grits. Don't cook it though. Oh, I'm glad you're doing good. Yeah, we're getting ready for Christmas here. Today is the 21st. So tomorrow I'll take care of all my bins and I'll feed them so that Christmas Day I don't have to worry about them. So, because I feed them every like 3 to 4 days. So obviously, when I lift the plastic on my bin, if I see that there's still food, I leave them alone. The worst thing you can ever do to one of your worm bins is overfeed it because it'll cause a lot of problems. And trust me, I have done every experiment there is to do, and I have killed worms before. My first African nightcrawlers, I killed all of them. Yeah, that was rough. I know, it was sad. It was a sad moment. All 100 of them. But
Was in Ohio. Cool. Oh, Idaho, rather.
oh boy, you get real. You get some serious snow up there. So, Michael, do you have any of your bins outside in northern Idaho? How do you take care of that? I hear that people insulate them really well with straw and manure, and they put a tarp over bins outside, and worms actually do well. Red wigglers are very resilient worms. They're very forgiving on what you could do with them. They're not as sensitive as the European nightcrawlers or the Africans. They're really not. There's a lady I watch on YouTube. I think her channel name is Dekin something. I love her channel. And she has Louisiana swamp worms. I'm not sure what they are.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a red wiggler. I think she says they don't have stripes on them. So I've thought of seeing.
Making more cakes for Christmas. Stocking stuffers, huh?
Yeah. Are you going to sell it or are you going to give them away? Because for a gardener, that would be an awesome Christmas gift.
Remember the olive oil you put in your
Oh, gosh.
stocking?
Joe got me an olive oil dispenser and
Like
then
spray, right? Yeah.
mulch heavy. Yes. Yeah, that will keep your worms alive. So he got me an olive oil sprayer and he put a bottle of olive oil to go with it in my stocking. Well, in the middle of the night, the stocking fell, the bottle broke. There was olive oil everywhere. When we woke up the next day,
Huddle.
It was awful.
Tried.
That's all right. The sprayer was really nice. I had it for years. I have LSW giving gifts. What is LSW? The King Garden stuff. Yeah, I think that is her channel name. Yeah, watch her videos. She has a videos. I think it's a 4-part series that she does the bins behind me, and she actually uses mosquito dunks to control the flies and gnats and the little bugs that fly around, and oh, I hate them. But yeah, you can use that in your worm bins just a little bit. She grinds it into a powder and she puts 1/8 of a teaspoon in the bedding when she makes it up. And it helps to control flying insects because, flying insects could be a problem in your worm bin. And, sometimes it doesn't mean you're doing something wrong. It just happens. Yeah, the Louisiana swamp worms.
LSW.
Oh, I didn't get that. Thank you for clarifying that. So I'm going to see where she got them. I don't even know if they still sell them, whoever it is she got them from. I'd like to get a small batch and just see what they are. I know that lately I've seen a lot of people having a problem with fungus nets, these little things that fly. So the mosquito dunk powder will take care of that in your worm bin. And it doesn't hurt the worms.
Tried those fly papers that time, remember? I captured a lot of them.
Yeah. Well, yeah. The fly paper, the one that you hang, it'll catch them. It'll catch them. A lot of people have those in their worm bins, and it's useful. Some people buy those lights that are buzzing, and it zaps them.
Yeah, we talked about that.
Yeah, we talked about getting one of those, but we go through phases with the flying insects in here.
Yeah, there's nothing now.
Lately, no, we don't have any. You have Louisiana swamp worms, Michael? Yeah, if you have some, we can trade. Sure. You guys want to see some African nightcrawlers?
The ones you showed me before that were going nuts? Yeah. Yesterday.
Yeah, I have a bin here. I have a bin here next to me of the African nightcrawlers.
Can you bring this over there to show it?
This detaches from it, so I have it here so I can show
them.
This
is the bin right here?
Yeah,
oh, cool.
This is one of them. The thing is with this thing, I can't get the camera to flip backwards like a cell phone.
Oh, so you got to face that forward?
So I got to face
There's
it
no
forward.
Camera on the other side?
No.
Okay.
No. Well, I don't think there is. There probably is, and I don't even know.
Is there any kind of, see if there's like a flip button or something, like on the phone? I don't see it.
All right, let me see.
You're going to I'll take a peek while you get ready to do
I'll detach it. Let me take this off. There is a button back there?
It looks like there's a little camera.
Oh, I'll have to figure it out. So this detaches from my, can you pull this down?
Yeah, sure.
From my.
It's like magnetic. Does that come all the way off?
Yeah, it comes off. You got to pull it.
Oops,
there you go. All right.
She said.
Let's not start. All right, I'm going to turn this around and show you the African nightcrawlers.
Want me to hold that while you do that, or hopefully this is? Let me see if I can see it.
Okay, you ready?
Here we go.
Because they scatter the minute you lift this. There they are. There's some of them.
Is that the same bin that went nuts yesterday?
Yeah, that's one of them. See, they're nice. That's a young one. They're very big, very healthy.
Oh yeah, there was more food in there. They killed a lot of it.
Yeah, they did. They're really nice worms to raise. So let me get another bin. They're not difficult to raise. They don't like look at this one. They don't like the cold. They're very sensitive to cold. They will die. African nightcrawlers like to be in a tropical environment. They like tropical environment more than anything. So if you try to raise them in Idaho, you got to keep them inside.
Put it back on there.
Yeah. So yeah. Can I have my chair back?
Yeah.
I'm throwing you out of here.
Yeah, I gotta go anyway.
Okay.
So I'll see you in a little bit. Have fun.
All right. Thank you.
Nice meeting everyone again. It's Joe, V's husband.
Love you. Bye. Hello. How are you? Yeah, the African nightcrawlers are here. They're in the worm room. So this is. I have a finished basement, and this room is insulated on all the walls. It used to be my son's bedroom, but when they moved out, it became our crafting room. And then I didn't have anywhere to keep my worms in one central place. I had them everywhere. So we decided just to put them in here, and it's worked out. It's worked out really great. It's worked out great. These behind me here are European nightcrawlers. And these over here are my red wigglers, and they're doing very well. The red wigglers, guys, I have so many red wigglers, it's unbelievable. Those worms reproduce like crazy. They're just wow. You guys raise any Africans or anything different? When I started out with worm composting, I started out with red wigglers, and I think every beginner should start out with red wigglers because they're just the easiest worm to raise. And like I said earlier, they're very forgiving. So if you make a mistake, you probably won't hurt them. Um, yeah, they're not as picky as the other ones. The other ones can be a little on the finicky side. So you guys, yeah, yeah. For now, you're raising the red wigglers, but I know you're gonna graduate soon to another worm, Rick. Your next ones should be the Euros or even blue worms. Now I like blue worms. A lot of people have issues with them. I don't know why. They're an amazing worm. If you like a worm that's very hyper, the blue worm is a great worm for you. Oh, you have them in your urban worm bag. How are those bags? How do they work for you? I don't have any type of urban worm bag or any type of like bag or like anything that opens up at the bottom like that. Maybe eventually I'll get one, but I've been raising worms in towers for so many years that I think I've just gotten used to the towers. You know, the towers for me were the first beginner ones, and I learned to do it in that, and it became easier for me like that. But I know Steve Churchill. I think he's the one that invented the urban worm bag, and I know a lot of people have it, and he's very successful, very nice man. So maybe eventually I'll get one. But who knows? You know, Joe likes to surprise me with all kinds of worm things. So you never know. You never know. One might pop up on my doorstep. Are they hard to harvest? There was another type of bin that I saw someone have on YouTube. It wasn't an urban worm bag. It was something similar, but it was solid plastic. Um, can't remember the name of it. It looked like a giant garbage can, and it opened up at the bottom or had some kind of tray at the bottom. I've looked online for different types of worm bins, and I can't believe what some of them cost. There was one that was like $600, and it was like round and had this little door at the bottom. And I'm like, wow, that's a lot of money. But I don't think they sold that one in this country. I think it was somewhere like in India. Have you guys watched the worm videos on YouTube of people in India raising worms? It is amazing. I love watching them. Oh, well, that's good if it's not hard to harvest at all because I don't want to challenge at all. The towers for me are so easy to harvest. It is like ridiculous. And the worms just basically they just do all the work for me. So I don't know if any of you have actually harvested a tower. Some people will put like plastic on the floor or a tarp and like dump the tray and do the light thing. I did that for years. And when I first started, I would struggle to get every single worm. I mean, I'd be there, we're talking hours. And then as the years went by, I finally realized that I'm just not going to get every worm. I'm just not. And it started making my life a little easier. So when I harvest a tower, what I do is I take the tray that is finished and I put it on the top and I leave the lid off. And every day I fluff up the castings, everything, fluff it up, get it air in there, dry it out a little bit. And when I do that, the worms don't like it, so they go down into the next tray. And then before you know it, your castings are empty and the worms are gone, and you can just scoop it out. So there's a debate about castings online. I've seen both. Some people say that your castings should always be moist. If not, the microbes die. And then I've had others say that it's okay to dry them out completely because when you re-wet it, the microbes come back. So I don't know. I've used wet castings and I've done fine, and I've also used dry castings and I've done fine. So I'm not sure. It could just be, I don't know, a preference. Oh, you got them for Christmas too, Worm Cafe. When Joe got me my first Worm Factory 360 on Christmas, listen, Christmas is stressful. I know everyone gets stressed around Christmas. And I was just, I was wrapping gifts before I was cooking because, I'm a chef, I cook a lot. And I was just so overwhelmed. And when I finally sat down Christmas Day and I opened that box, I had no clue. I just started crying. I was so happy. I started crying and crying and crying. And immediately, we took it out of the box and he started building it for me. And it was just so exciting. I know people think I'm a weirdo because I love worms and, but, I've been with my husband. Next year, it'll be 25 years. The man knows what I like. I'm so glad that worm composting that I've discovered it 20 years ago because I wanted to fertilize my garden in a natural way, and I just didn't know how I was going to do it because this was when YouTube was like getting started and there wasn't a lot of information out there. I had this really old dinosaur computer. It was a struggle, to figure it out. So, but our youngest daughter would go in the garden and she'd pull carrots out of the ground and like wipe them off and just start eating them. So I was so afraid to spray or do anything like that. And, I knew I wanted to grow big vegetables and healthy ones. So that's how worm composting came into my life. And my kids, my oldest daughter doesn't like them at all. She has helped me harvest, but not doesn't like it. The younger one doesn't care. She'll help me if I need it. She's not finicky or anything. Um, I told them when I die, y'all better take care of my worms. I should probably put them in a will, right? You guys want to see my European night crawlers now? I'll bring a bin over and I'll show you. And then maybe when I'm done with this live, I could figure out how to turn this around. Let me see what happens if I press this button. Okay, well, nothing. All right, let's see. Which one am I getting? I'll just pull one from here. So, this is a European nightcrawler bin. I set it up December 16th. Now, any breeder bins, because this is a breeder bin, I'm going to harvest it on the 6th of January, approximately 21 days. When you have a breeder bin that you start with the bedding with peat moss and sand and lime and the chicken crumbles mixed into it, you shouldn't leave it more than 21 days. You have to change it out for fresh bedding. And that's the formula to get them to be really fat. So let's see if I could hold this up. It makes the worms really fat. So let's see. Look at them. They're massive. And these are European nightcrawlers. They're a nice size. You see the European nightcrawler has a little yellow tail like a red wiggler. Very similar. So these worms are doing great. I've already sold a bunch of them, but I'm still selling them. Now, I don't know if you guys know, I probably haven't told anyone. because I share secrets little by little, you know. I do have an eBay store. I sell worms on eBay. Besides my website, you wouldn't believe how many people buy worms on eBay. Now, you all know I've bought worms on eBay. I've bought worms from everywhere, even Alaska. Now, those Alaska ice worms, those are another story. They're little and I'm trying to get the population to build up with them. So I've been working with them lately. But yes, I have an eBay store. It's the Garden and Worm Lady. And I sell all my worms there. Right now, I'm starting to create my seed starting mix. And when I have that, I'm going to put it up for sale. And it's the same seed starting mix that I use on my plants when I start my starts. Yeah, they're big. I know the best carrots are right out of the ground, exactly. And you know, she ate many of them, my daughter, so and never got sick. Um, it's just scary when people spray or put pesticides and then the kids eat it. Yeah, I mean, you never know, you know. Yeah, they're big. Now the red wigglers, they're only like 2 to 3 inches big. Some people get crazy when they go on a website and they see a picture of a red wiggler this big, and then when they order them and you get what an actual red wiggler is, they're like, "Oh, they're so small. I got ripped off." Yeah, no, you didn't. They're just they're just little. And some people put those pictures to make them look big and stuff, but the pictures I put on my stuff are my actual worms. I mean, I don't see a reason to put a picture that's not, you know, what the worm actually is. And they're little, but of all the worms I have had, the red wigglers are definitely the ones with the biggest appetite. They are. The other day I gave them some rabbit manure and I buried it. And when I went to look in that corner about 4 days later, it was gone. They love manure. And you know, when I bury rabbit manure in their bedding, there's no odor in here. My worm room just smells like damp soil because there's so many bins and they're all, you know, peat moss and damp newspaper. But I like to keep it clean in here. I'm definitely on the clean side. So as you can see back here, you know, I have my Swiffer and I have my red wigglers. And then I have my European nightcrawlers. I have my hooks that I use sometimes. I keep a water bottle on every shelf. And then I have my rack there and some of the supplies I use and some of my supplies there. And Joe hung this up for me on the wall and my paper towels. Then I got my harvester here, which I'm telling you, this thing is, I mean, it's amazing. Amazing, that thing. I love it. Get you one of these brushes. This is the easiest thing to use to clean things. You wouldn't believe. And then I got these are my supplies. And I got my Alaskan ice worms there and my grinder. This thing, it's a beast. Now, you want me to show you what I actually bag my worms in? Let me show you one of the bags. So a lot of people use sandbags. I put my castings in this and I put my chow in this because the color matches. And I can put worms in these if I want to, but I'm going to show you what I like to ship worms in because it's a lot softer. And it's this type of bag. And you can see it's very soft. It's breathable. I've had a lot of success shipping worms in this. And they're called no scratch bags. And I'll tell you, I get them on ulin.com. So it's ULINE.com. When you go on Ulin, put in the search no scratch bags, and these are going to pop up. Very soft and breathable, and they're really nice. And the good thing is you can put this bag right in your worm bin and they'll eat it. So everything you get from me, you just dump the whole thing in your worm bin and there's no garbage. But I do have to zip tie this. And I hate using zip ties, but I'm trying to find a way that I can seal this to where the worms can also eat it. I thought maybe some kind of twine or cotton string or something like that. Let's see. Yeah, the Indian blues have ferocious. I know. I want to get some blues. But I want to put my blues upstairs in my frog worm composter. So they're up in my kitchen because I know that they eat heavy and, you know, they'll catch up. Found out that if you place the camera close to your catch, it makes them look bigger. Yeah. You fish a lot. Bye, Rick. We'll talk more, okay? Hi, Plant Obsessed. Hi. How you doing, Anne? You doing okay? I see you playing with your worms all the time. Now, I watch all your videos. I don't comment all the time because I watch so many videos. I'll be there all day commenting, but I do watch all the videos. And I watch them usually either at night or in the morning when I'm getting ready to go to work. I watch a lot of videos as I get ready. And sometimes I comment, sometimes I don't. It depends. It's just so many. Yeah, winter is here too. Even though here in southern Indiana, it's been a little on the warmer side, which is really not normal for us. But when that happens, January is going to come and it's going to hit us like a bomb. January is when I get the most snow here. And we live up on a hill. And sometimes, we can't get down. So hopefully that won't happen this year. I'll be able to get down. So look, I have everything organized, all my supplies up there. I got more supplies up there. It's just easier when you have a worm room or wherever you have your worms. Just keep things organized. It'll be nicer and easier for you, and it'll take less stress off you. Plus, you can enjoy your worms more. I raise worms not only for sales because I enjoy them. I didn't sell them for years because I didn't have the time, honestly. But now that my kids are grown, it's a different story. The temps are up and down here. 40 tomorrow, 72 Christmas. Oh my gosh, that's warm. I can't believe that. Yeah, a couple of years ago, we had a Christmas that was in the 70s. I mean, we were outside in t-shirts. And then January came and it was all over. No, I'm not raising blues. I want to get some blues for my frog composter that I have in my kitchen because I know that they eat ferociously and I do have a lot of scraps. But my red wigglers are doing fine up there also, so I'll just mix them. It's okay to mix worm species. They all work together. I've had red wigglers with European nightcrawlers. In the past, I've had blues with red wigglers. They're all friends. They all work together. I've been selling my worms bed run, which means that when I harvest them, you just get all the sizes. Because the red wigglers are 2 to 3 inches, and then some of them are smaller, some are around that size. They're just too hard to pick out sizes. So I just send them all. And even cocoons sometimes, just everything goes. I buy a lot of bed run worms because I feel that I get more for my money because some of them are small, but they grow fast. Yeah, sure. Yeah, your bins are 3-way mix with reds and blues and euros. Yeah. A couple of years ago, people had a problem with blues in their red wiggler bins, and people selling red wigglers, pure, and they were blues mixed in, and people were getting upset. And I understand, but there's really not a problem with having some blues mixed into your bin. There really isn't. Um, it's not. They all work together. They all work together. I know some people that buy only mixes. They won't buy if they say like only red wiggler, pure they won't buy those. They want the mix because what they do is they know the difference in worms. So they'll separate a few of each one and then they'll make 3 bins of the 3 different kinds. I know people that do that, and that's pretty clever, I think. My Euros are definitely the ones back here. They're only Euros, and the Africans are only Africans. But yeah, those African nightcrawlers are huge. What do you have trouble keeping the blues with in the same systems with the red wigglers? Or is it harder to keep them by themselves? Not too long ago, I had a bin on my counter here that had a mix of red and European nightcrawlers, and they died. I don't know why. Honestly, I think it was something in the bedding. But I had to throw it out. Oh, they were crawling in the 360. I raised some of them in 360s. What kept them inside the bin was always constantly having a good supply of food. That always kept them in. I mean, occasionally I'd find one on the floor here and there, You should have seen years ago when I had my first African nightcrawlers and they got out. And Joe's like, "V, there are snakes on the floor." They were huge. They were like this. They were everywhere. But I killed those. I did. I don't know what I did wrong, but they died. Most of our worm jerky is escaping blues. Yeah. Now, even though I've been doing this for just about 20 years, I am not perfect at it. And I have made a lot of mistakes and I have done everything. But, that's the fun about it. You figure out what you do wrong and then you fix it. Both carbon and veg, red and blue and Euro. Oh yeah, especially the Africans. I noticed that when I give my African nightcrawlers more carbon than the others, they devour it. They really do. So if you're a person that has a lot of newspaper left over or paper bags or things like that, African nightcrawlers will definitely take care of that for you. But they're not a beginner worm. I mean, if you want to try and go ahead and raise African nightcrawlers for the first time, I mean, go for it. You might be successful. But I always tell people if you're going to do worms for the first time, get the red wigglers. And even if they're mixed with the European nightcrawlers, it's okay because they're more, they're easier to raise. And the last thing you want to do is kill them all, even though, man, I'm guilty. think I've killed everything at one time. This was like 15 years ago when I was starting to, I didn't know what the heck I was doing. After I bought my red wigglers from Bruce in Conroe, Texas, I have never seen red wigglers that big anymore. I don't know what he fed them. It was probably manure. And my guess is being down there with the heat helped them get plump. But those were the biggest red wigglers I ever had. If I didn't have African nightcrawlers, not have anything to do with my Amazon box, they are high maintenance. But they don't reproduce as fast as my other worms. I don't so I don't sell as often African nightcrawlers because I don't have that many. But I love them. They're just so pretty. I love when I pick them up and they have that purple hue on them. Oh, they're just gorgeous. They are gorgeous. And I bought mine in the winter, and the farmer mailed them with a heat pack. So I have heat packs too. So if anyone buys mine, I'm gonna attempt to ship them with the heat pack. And if they die, then I'm just gonna refund them and wait till spring. But I will attempt it. I've been raising worms. Next month will be 20 years. Yeah, 20 years. I can't believe it. It's my 20-year anniversary. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to we're going to do a contest. I'm going to take names down of people who comment and we're going to put it in a bowl or something and I'm going to pick out a name and I'm going to ship worms to the person for free. But it has to be within the United States. I can't ship worms outside of the US. They won't let me. So someone's going to get worms. Now, the next question is um, you're going to have to write down when you give me your name, you're going to have to write down which worm you're interested in. And then whoever wins, I'll send you, either red wigglers, European nightcrawlers, or African nightcrawlers. Michael, you got 17 years on the red wigglers. Wow. How much money? Well, I didn't sell them the whole time, 20 years. I just raised them as a hobby for my garden and for my garden to have organic fertilizer. But I will tell you, there is money in worm farming if you know how to do it. You got to be wise. The best way to make money in worm farming is to grow them in windrows outside because outside it'll be an enormous amount. But you also have to know how to harvest a windrow. You can't just dig in the windrow and just you'll run out of worms. I do have a worm barrel outside in my garden that sits on the ground and it has holes at the bottom of it. And that's been sitting there for about 10 years. And the worms just come and go. They're free to come and go. I see them all spring through the summer. And then when the fall comes and it starts to get a little cold, they disappear. The good thing is, though, they leave all their cocoons behind. So in the spring, I have an abundance of babies. Worm farming, you gotta be wise. You can't overspend. Um, you gotta see where you can raise good worms and get good supplies, maybe donated to you. I mean, the less you invest and money wise, the more profit you're gonna have. But there are some things you're gonna need to invest in. You just have to. So yeah. But like any business, you start a business, you have to invest some in order to make it back. Well, the way the way I'm gonna do my windrows outside is we're gonna lay down some cement blocks. They're about squares about this big. And then on the side of the windrow, we're gonna do cinder blocks because I do have moles here, moles and voles that come up the ground and they do eat all the worms. They eat everything. I hate those things. So having the cement blocks will also allow drainage to go in the soil so the water won't sit in it and then the moles won't be able to get in the windrow. I know some worm farmers that don't have a mole problem like in Northern California and they raise their worms in windrows right on the ground. They don't have any predators. They're lucky. So there's a lot of ways you can do it. We have a cement patio back here that I'm thinking of just getting a oval like feeding trough with no floor on it and just put them in there. So it just depends what you want and how much space you have. Obviously, people who live in apartments can't do this, but people who live in apartments can worm compost in towers or a bin. You can do that. I don't know. There was years ago when a lady she took wood and she built herself a coffee table with a glass top, and inside it was a worm farm. And that was amazing. I would love one of those. Hi, Rick. You're back. And from Plant Obsessed, I think you would do great having a windrow outside. You have enough experience to have one. And I've seen you give your worms a bath outside. That's one of the best videos. I think you can do it. Yeah, you can put a 1/4 inch mesh underneath the bed. Um, I did that to one of my garden beds, but within a few years, it started breaking apart and it had holes in it then. And I think it must have rusted or something. I don't know, but you can definitely try it. Oh wow, next door neighbor fell, so I had to go help him up. Oh, he had a stroke a few months ago. Oh, that's so sweet of you to do that, poor thing. That's really nice that you went to help him. Yeah, it's good to be a good neighbor. We have neighbors that we live around us here that we love. We consider them our friends. So you guys want to see my red wigglers? I've shown you my African nightcrawlers and I've shown you my Euros. You want to see the red wigglers? They're I know, I've seen ants basement full of worms. Oh, you have raccoons, possum, and rats here. Yeah. I have raccoons too and possums. I haven't seen any rats, but I do have those. So I'm trying to figure out how. Might have to cover the windrow. It depends how long it is in planks of wood or something. Um, they are devious, those things. I love them though. The raccoons are so cute. They come up here to my bird feeder on my deck, and I have a mama and a baby that come. And I've watched that little baby, grow up. It was so little when they came. He was like really little, and now he's big, and he still comes with his mom to eat. But we'll see. I mean, the raccoons usually don't mess with my garden. I had one a couple of years ago that for some reason kept digging up my onions. He was obsessed with onions. And then I took some pepper flakes and I sprinkled it all around and he went away. But they usually don't mess with my garden because if I keep my bird feeder full up here, they prefer to come up here. But he'll probably, if I'm gonna put manure in my windrows, he's probably definitely gonna want to go for that. So we're gonna find a way to figure it out. Joe is very handy with building things, and we build things together all the time. So I'm sure that we'll figure it out. If not, I could just ask you all for ideas. you know, I've seen him. He's that older guy that sits on the deck. Have you all seen him? He's an older man that sits on his deck and he feeds raccoons hot dogs, but he has like 30 or 40 of them come and they climb over him and they sit on his and he's going like this, giving them a hot dog, one over here. It's funny to watch. It's amazing. You know why he did that? His wife started that years and years ago when she had raccoons that would just come because they were hungry and there was like mamas with babies. She started that. And before you know it, she had dozens of raccoons coming. And when she passed away, he kept up the tradition. He said he just couldn't stop it because it was something his wife did and loved. So he's the grandpa of raccoons. He's also raised babies inside his house because he's found them. Like the mother gets hit by a car and there's the baby. He takes them. Yeah. It's funny. I like to watch it. He's on every night. Every night he puts up a video of him and those raccoons. Yeah. One day he went on his deck and there was a bear out there, so he had to run back inside. The cheapest stuff I feed my worms. Um, are we talking about my hobby worms or my breeder worms? They're different. When doing a large scale, the cheapest thing you could feed them is manure. If you could find a farmer that will give you all his poop for free, that's what they'll eat. They love it. Plus, there's some places that the ones that brew beer, they have the spent grain. They'll give you that. That's another food for them. Leaves, if you have leaves. I live in a place where there's a million leaves. That'll be a food source for them. But most people feed manure, but that is the cheapest if you're going to do large scale. Yeah, definitely. People do all kinds of manure too. Cow and horse is the common one. But I know a guy that feeds rabbit manure because he has like a million rabbits and he does that and they love it. I give mine rabbit manure that I have in a container here, but my rabbit manure is dry and it doesn't have an odor. So when I put it in the bin underneath the bedding, it wettens itself from the bedding and within a few days it's gone. I never see it again. So Pierre, are you going to start a worm farm? Like a big one? Are you planning? Where are you located? If you're in a warm climate, it'll definitely be easier for you. And some people, when they raise worms on large scale like that, they cover their the top of their bins with like a cover, like a roof. But sometimes those windrows are long. You can't cover everything. It's going to cost you a lot of money. So people just they just leave them. He had a channel, Rabbit Worm Guide. Does he still post? I'm not sure. I'm not sure if he still posts. But rabbit manure is definitely one of my worm's favorite. And I've been on eBay buying weird manures. I've just to see what works and what they like and just to experiment. I bought, let's see, I buy rabbit manure, I bought horse manure, cow manure. Um, I think I saw for sale guano, bat manure, but I think I'm allergic to guano, so I have to be careful. I probably won't buy that one. Oh, you're in Canada. Okay. Yeah, you can do it. There's a guy in Canada that I know that his name is Bentley, and I think his website is redwormcomposting.com. He's been raising worms for many, many years. I don't know if he still does it, but he started out raising his worms in Canada. You can look up his website if you'd like. Redwormcomposting.com. His name is Bentley. He is very knowledgeable with raising worms, very knowledgeable. And he's very nice and he'll answer any question you ask him. Very knowledgeable. Let me see if the red wigglers, if I could pull one over here. All right, let's see this one. Let's see what these look like. All right. Here are my red wigglers. Well, these are some of them. Now, these are young. And they're a good size, though. I just put these up for sale. Oh, look. Look, Ann. I got a worm ball. I know they're your favorite. They're nice looking worms. Very healthy. They're doing very well. But you see, the edge of the bin is kind of dry. So I have to spray it down. Now, if you look at the paper. This was an entire paper bag. And they're eating it. And then I use plastic bubble wrap to cover it to help keep the moisture in, because even though it dries out, it helps to to keep it on the moist side. Yeah, Bentley. Yeah, look him up here. You can ask him questions. He's very helpful. So if you know someone that wants worms, send them my way. thegardenandwormlady.com. Now that website, my God, building it myself, it's been some challenge, but I definitely have learned a lot. And I have my eBay store. I'm a big eBayer. You guys have any eBay stores out there? If you do, link it below. I want to see it. I would love to see it. Thank you for saying very nice. Thank you. You notice red wigglers are that they're not as dark as the African nightcrawlers, but they got that sort of deep burgundy color. I love them. And when you pick them up like that, they're very, wiggly. How many people I got watching tonight? I got 12 people. Yay. This time I put out a notification though on Instagram and Facebook that I was going to come on. The last time I just pressed the button. I didn't even think about it. It doesn't take them that long to grow up. It also depends on their moisture level and how you feed them. If you keep your bin nice and moist and feed them something that is high in protein, they'll get to a nice size pretty soon. It doesn't take that long. Maybe about, I don't know, 6 to 8 weeks, something like that. I notice when I feed my worms chicken crumbles, it's like the food that you feed your chickens, they get fat. I'm withholding food, but still some left in the bin. Why are you doing that? Are you going to harvest the bin? I understand about being busy. When I had COVID last December, I didn't see my worms for a while. I was so sick, I just couldn't. And when I came back down here, they were fine. They were a little on the skinny side, but they survived. So it's okay. Just don't forget them forever. Yes, I remember. Yes, I remember Lilia. It's Lilia Kogan, right? I would love for her to come back on and make videos again. I still watch all her videos. I don't know why she left YouTube, doesn't make them anymore, but I wish she'd come back and make some because they were really nice, and she explained everything, and I just enjoyed her videos. But yeah, hers are dark. They're dark red like that. How do I harvest them? Which these bins back here? Is that what she did? She did. She has the best experiments. I'm trying to come up with a new experiment for my towers. These bins back here are harvested with a harvester with this thing. So you don't have to harvest with one of these. I mean, the lady who sent me this, she sent it to me out of the kindness of her heart. Look at that's all my craft stuff that's going to be moved to the other room so that we can have more room for worms. But this thing, she sent this to me, for free because my thumbs all here, both my hands got damaged from COVID, and I was having a hard time harvesting. But look how easy this is. It's nice. So these are the ones that I will always use on a regular basis. These harvesters. And I have a hard time holding them and shaking them. My hands just can't keep up. They just can't. So I use that one. And this is also another one of my little favorite harvesters. I got this on eBay, but I like it because it's lightweight. But again, I can't shake it too well. So she sent this to me for free if I made a video about it. And I did. And it's really, really helped me because of that harvester, I'm able to harvest my worms and put them up for sale because I was struggling, I was really struggling. And I always said, my worms, I want to always enjoy my worms if Hey, how are you? If I don't enjoy my worms anymore, then I don't know. It won't be fun raising them. How are you doing? Yeah, the ones behind me, that's how I harvest them. I use that harvester. Now, some people don't have the harvester. What they do is they put a tarp down or a piece of plastic and they take the bin and they turn it upside down. And then you could do the light method. You just put a light and you just take the dirt off, the castings, put it aside, wait for the worms to go down. And then you take some more off. And before you know it, you're going to have a ball of worms left. If you watch Dakin gardening channel, that worm lady, in one of her videos where she does the 4-part series, she harvests one of the bins like mine and she shows you. When I harvest one of my entire bins, I'll film it and I'll show you guys. Oh, you're at work tonight? What time is it by you? This is Why Did Davy Gardening and Worm Farm. No, I can't. It's these thumbs. Like, look, they, they. I don't know. I just don't have strength in them anymore. But I don't know if the damage is permanent. But hand exercises help, so we're doing that. But I just try to live my life normal. Yeah, separates cocoons. Well, when I put the worms in there and I harvest it, the worms come out of the end over here, but the baby worms and the cocoons drop to the bottom. So if I want the cocoons, I need to take a harvester with a smaller hole and then sift that out. And then the cocoons, I put them in a new bin with new bedding to grow. But these are my breeder bins. These are the bins that have like the adult worms that are growing up and ready to be sold. My nursery bins that I have over there where I raise the cocoons and babies, they're all in a separate bin. So what I do is when I harvest one of these, I take baby worms from the nursery bin and I refill one of these. And then over there, they'll just keep reproducing. It's like a cycle. It's a cycle. And it's a nice like side income. Tiny worms you can barely see. Those are probably those little white tiny worms are probably either the baby worms or they're pot worms. Are they white? If they're white, then they're probably pot worms and you have too much food in your bin. When you overfeed, you'll have a lot of pot worms. And you'll know because they're really skinny and little and white. But they're not a problem. They also compost everything in there, but you don't want them to grow into like too much because they can take over. These worms, feeding all these worms and cleaning up this rooms takes me about 2 hours at a time. So I come down here about every 3 to 4 days and I feed every 3 to 4 days depending on whether they need the food or not. Some of my bins have less worms in them, so they take longer to eat it. I only give them food when I see that the food is gone. Thank you. Thank you so much. You know, it looks like a lot. I mean, it looks like a lot, and I'm getting more. But the thing with something like this is organization. You have to have it organized, or it will make your life hard. You don't want that. Organization, keep it clean. Don't leave trash around. Just stay on top of it. Like this wall behind me, in front of me, is years and years of crafting supplies from my daughters and myself. We're gonna take all that off the wall, and we're gonna move my crafting supplies and my sewing table because I like to sew into another room that I have down here, and we're going to put more of these things on that wall. So my worm population is actually going to grow. But you see these bins, you see how there's a lot of space? Joe is going to move these to be able to put more bins. So I'll make it as big as long as I can keep up on it. Once I'm struggling and can't keep up, then I stop. How much time do you spend on your worms, Anne? This is Anne from Plant Obsessed. Because I know you have a job too, and I also work. Do you spend a lot of time on yours? And sometimes when I'm down here, I take extra time down here only because I'm not in a rush and I really like to spend time with my worms and investigating them and just seeing what they're up to. Like I told you a couple of weeks ago, I got an European nightcrawler cocoon hatching, and I watched it for a long time, and 4 babies came out. And I always thought that European nightcrawler cocoons had 1 baby. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know who thinks that, or maybe theirs have 1 baby, but I know mine have 4 babies or more because I actually saw 4 come out. Professional, keep it nice and clean. Absolutely. Yes. Your desk where you work, like I have a desk with my computer and my shipping scale and all that, I keep it all nice and clean and organized because when I harvest worms to ship them, I want to just get it done and get it done fast and get those worms out the door. I don't pre-harvest my worms to ship. Like let's say I have let's say I get an order tonight. I will not harvest these worms tonight. I harvest them right before I ship them because I don't like them sitting in the box too long. I also put holes on the sides of my box. So yesterday I actually filmed the video. Was it yesterday? Maybe it was a few days ago. I don't remember. I actually filmed the video of how I harvest them and bag them and how I actually ship them. My worms that I sell on eBay or on my website, I ship them with a pirate ship. Pirate ship has the cheapest shipping you will find. In the new bin, I finally see 2 worms mating. Oh, it was so cool seeing it firsthand. I've seen it a bunch on everyone else's channels. I know. Isn't that cool when you first spot them? It's like you don't want to interrupt them, like, oh. But what I do when I see them is I cover them up right away so I don't disturb them. Yes, it was a tree watching all 4, but it shocked me because I never knew that there was more than 1 baby. I almost like saw the 1 come out and didn't watch anymore, but I saw something move and I'm like, let me see what's going to happen. And 4 of them actually came out. I couldn't believe it. Of course, I didn't have my camera or my phone. I had my phone like the last minute, and I think I got 1 coming out. I know. You couldn't help yourself, huh, Rick? I know. I understand. When you first see them, you're like, what is going on? So not the first time I saw it, but a few months ago, I actually caught 2 European nightcrawlers breeding, but I caught them at the second that they were separating, and it was the strangest thing I have ever seen in my life. It was like the tail of one flattened completely. It looked like a shovel, and it was under the clitellum, and when it pulled out, it was so flat. I'm like, "What in the world?" And I quickly got a picture of it, and I think I put that on my Facebook page. I couldn't believe it. I didn't know it happened like that. I had never, in my 20 years, I have never seen that. Oh my gosh. I hear my husband back there. He said, "That's what she said." He says that with everything. You have it on video a few times? Good. I watch your videos, Grant. I've been watching your videos for like a few years now. Yeah, you got to spend time with them. you know. And when you start out, Pierre, the more time you spend with them, you'll also learn more about them, like how they actually work, how they function, what do they like to eat, what temperature they like more, do they like more moisture, do they like more dry, so yeah. How long have you been on YouTube, Grant? Because I know that I've been watching you for a few years now. I know it's been a few years at least that you've been on. So do you guys like the videos like in the room? Oh, I'm glad you enjoy it. Thank you. Yeah, I've been wanting to go live for a while, but honestly, I didn't know how, and I just didn't know how to do it. And Rick and I from Gardening with Barchuk and we're talking, and I remember he told me one day, just press the button and see what happens. So that's what I did. I just pressed the button, and there you go. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, sure, do it. It's a good way to relax, like especially when you're done with work for the day. Some people sew, some people read. I do a little bit of everything, but I worm farm. I like to play with my worms. Oh, I love talking about worms too. And you guys are like the only ones I talk to about worms, besides my family. Like I don't around here, like my friends, they don't understand worms. Nobody does. So I have my YouTube family. Yeah, definitely. Learn by doing. I saw that you're building something in your garden, Rick. I saw the wooden frame. I saw the metal, sheet metal you put on it. I think it's sheet metal. Ah, you heard Joe say it on the background. That's what he said. They heard you. He's working in the other room, his office. We both have an office over there.
Sorry, I was working in the next room, so I had to act 9 years old
Anne
throw
heard
that
you.
in. I had to be my 9-year-old self and throw that in.
Come here and say hi to Anne.
Who's Anne?
She's from Plant Obsessed. You've seen her videos.
Oh, probably. Yes. Hi, Anne.
She's
Hello,
a lady
again.
with that giant blue barrel in the basement.
Oh,
the
yeah,
ones
yeah,
that we
yeah.
see her go like this. That's her.
Cool. Yeah, sorry, I had to chime in. I didn't listen to the whole thing, but I try to. Wait, I was working next room. And I heard that. I walked down. I heard something about clitellums, and I said, "Love you."
Love you. Tell Laura I'm hungry.
Oh, she's gonna bring food down. Or you gonna come up?
Yeah, she's gonna come down. No, she's coming down.
Okay, I'll tell her. I'll go up in a minute.
Okay, our oldest daughter is visiting from college. She just got her master's. I can't believe it. Like yesterday. I know. I can't believe I have a child who just finished college. But she's bringing me dinner. Yum. About and caring for our worms. Yes. Yes. My husband is always saying that's what she said. Always. This is said about, I'm not kidding you, about 100 times a day about everything. Oh, you're making banana bread? Yum. I'll tell her congratulations. Yeah, she's been in school for a long time. I love baking banana bread. I love cooking. I've learned to cook. I've been cooking about 40 years now. And that's how the worm started, the worm things. 'Cause I had so many scraps. Whew. My worms love banana peels too. The thing that I see that they love the most is pumpkin and watermelon. And I'm going to tell you a little secret what commercial worm farmers do. They give their worms, drum roll, brrr, a little bit of sugar. Believe it or not, sugar makes them fat and they get into like this frenzy. I'll tell her. But don't mix the sugar into your bin, guys. It's a surface thing. Um, have you seen people using gardening molasses or just regular molasses, mixing it with water and spraying it on the top of their worm bin? Molasses is sugar. So that's a worm farming secret. Yes, my mother taught me to cook when I was about 10 years old. She took me in that kitchen and she said, "You're learning." I'm Cuban. I was raised in a Cuban family, and you learn to cook. Yeah, it can be blackstrap molasses for the plants, or just molasses you cook with in your kitchen. I've seen people use that. It comes in a jar and it has the little face of a grandmother. You can use that. Yeah, sugar. Yep, they use sugar, especially brown sugar. I tried it with colored sugar one time as an experiment, and they ate it. Yeah, not too much though, and not often, but they like it. So yeah, I learned to cook. I learned to cook very young, and we had four kids, and I raised them all on home cooked food. I made all my baby food, so I still love to cook. I put molasses in my worm tea and also try on my worm bait. Yes, I put molasses in my worm tea also, and then I use it in my garden and spray it on my plants and everything. Hi, Adrian. Adrian's from May's Homestead Chronicles. How are you doing? Thank you. I love going live. This is my second time. I really enjoy it. You're in Rocky voice. Hey, Adrian. We have twin sons, and they're named Andrew and Adrian. I named one of my sons Adrian. My son Adrian serves in the military. Well, you're very welcome. You'll have to rewind this video so you can see some of my worms. I showed some of my African nightcrawlers and European nightcrawlers and my red wigglers. I have mites and those small worms from overfeeding. Yeah, it is from overfeeding. What color mites do you have? If they're red, you got a problem, a little bit of a problem. They can be they can hurt your worms. So get some diatomaceous earth, food grade kind, and sprinkle it on the surface, and it'll take care of the mites. It'll get rid of them. Yeah. I had problem with mites a couple of years ago, but then that took care of the problem. Diatomaceous earth is a powder, so be careful when you sprinkle it. Like, don't breathe it in, okay? And put it on the surface of your worm bin. Like, sprinkle it and then leave it alone. It'll help. Plus, diatomaceous earth is not harmful to worms. You will not have a problem. Yeah, I know we want to overfeed them because we think that that's going to help them, but don't overfeed them. It'll it's not going to help them. You're just going to create a problem with all that wetness. If your bin is over wet, then add some cardboard. Mix in some cardboard or newspaper, and that way it'll help dry it out. Neighbor asked if I wanted a large bag of diatomaceous earth. Couldn't believe he wants it to get rid of. Really? Why? Take it. But if you're going to give it to your worms, Adrian, make sure it's the food grade kind. See, I have some here somewhere. I'm going to get mine so I can show it to you. Let me unbuckle this so I could show you the diatomaceous earth. This is it. See? Hey, want to say hi? Come on, I just told him you got your master's. Here's my daughter, Laura.
Hi.
She's the one that just got her master's. She bought me dinner.
Yep. Avocado is kind of brown. Sorry.
That's okay. Thank you. I appreciate it.
No problem.
So this is the diatomaceous earth I use. See how it says food grade? Non-toxic. I'll tell her you said congratulations. And this powder will last you forever. Forever. I mean, you'll have it forever. I always thought that cedar was harmful to worms because it's pest resistant wood. However, the worms have been loving the cedar wood. Oh yeah. I'll tell her you said hi. Yeah, some people don't want to use cedar. I don't know why. I mean, I think it'll be okay. Yeah, I use lime in all my bins because a lot of my bedding is peat moss, and you know peat moss is acidic, and it helps to balance it out. Your pH should be at 7. It should be anywhere. They say the range between 6 and 8, but 7 is the ideal pH level. Even though, you know, for years I didn't measure no pH or none of that. I just did my worm bins by figuring it out. Good. If it's food grade, oh my gosh, definitely get it. Yeah, you scored. You scored. You scored. She hooked me up nice. Let me show you. Look. So we got rice, turkey, and avocado. Yum. So, and they say congratulations, by the way.
Thank you. It's a Coke.
Thank you.
Anything else?
She got me Diet Coke. No, this one is 0 sugar. It's really good. No, thank you. All right, guys, I'm going to end this now because I'm going to go have my dinner and I'm going to spend some time with her. She just got home not too long ago. Yeah, I know. I love doing my thing too. That's how I learn, you know, but sometimes you got to do the right thing and take the temperature of the worm bins and do that. But, you know, it's okay. So let me know down below, what do you want me to do next time in here? Do you want to see me actually set up a bin? Do you want me to film a live when I'm harvesting one of my bins here? Just let me know what you want me to do. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please do so. Share, like it, give it a thumbs up. Visit my website, thegardenandwormlady.com. You can also find me with the same name on eBay. Good night, guys. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'll tell her. Take care. And Friday, I have my video coming up of harvesting my bin and showing you on Pirate Ship how I actually ship. All right. Take care. Bye.